I got this. Wednesday, July 24th, vlog. Sometimes I vlog. My head is tired. I'm not, it's just my head. It might get a little crazy. Yes, I have been playing with some cool stuff. And I just want to share it with you. I told you I'm in a weird mood today. Beware. First of all, before I forget, I just want to thank you all. I know I keep thanking everybody, but I think it's very important for me to acknowledge, well, you guys. I started receiving emails from people all over the world, and it is so much fun. I love it. You guys are awesome. You really are. And it's funny how it always seems, I seem to get these uplifting messages when I need it the most, without you guys knowing it. And so it is so appreciated. It's still difficult for me to acknowledge the fact that you are watching what I present to you. I get to share what I love the most, which is art. Then I get feedback from it, and that's amazing. That's really amazing, because you can do all the art in the world. If nobody sees it except yourself, it's fine if that's what you want to get at, but I have a lot of knowledge and stuff I want to share. So if something I make could benefit somebody else, even my mistakes, especially the mistakes, then my goal, I've reached my goal. So I got together with my friend Giselle, and we signed up for an online workshop with Christy Sobolewski. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. I will link her channel below, but she has a class called Stardust Face, and we've only just started. This is just, you know, prepping the board. And the face is not my drawing, it's Christy's. She supplies that with the class. And the lady has the hair up in the air like that, and it's all textured. I used molding paste and I used fiber paste as well. And I had to let it cure for a few days. And it's just amazing. I cannot wait to play with this. Also, I did a tutorial on, well, for yesterday. And I played with a burlap panel from the District Market collection by Tim Holtz. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was so much fun. It's a little canvas. It's only 6 by 8. It's not a canvas, it's a burlap panel. But it's only 6 by 8. But I used Illusions ink sprays, and I got all messy with it, which was really fun. So I'm going to show you that, and I think I will include also the full tutorials, but I do apologize in advance, it's a little long. I also made a small booklet with my Inktense pencils, and this is just quotes that I like. And I'm just going to leave this at the store because I wanted people to really see what the Inktense pencils were about. If you have seen my previous vlog, it was also about Inktense pencils, and I use them in my art journal. I can't leave that at the store. It's mine. So I'm going to leave that by the shelves where we have the... I say we, but... I have to do a disclaimer here. It's funny because I keep saying the store, the store, the store. It is not my store, and I'm not even an employee of the store. I'm under contract. I do their social media campaigns, but I also do the tutorials. And I'm not trying to plug the store at all, but it is true. We've got the latest, greatest, and the best prices. So if you're looking for a place to shop in Montreal, just go. And the link is always below in my description box. So I'm going to hook up the camera overhead. I'm going to show you just very quickly. I'm going to flip through that. I probably will do a close-up of the face as well. And I will include the tutorial, and I will be right back. With the tissue paper, I want to create some texture on the burlap background, or burlap panel. So I'm going to tear this paper, and I'll be gluing this down kind of like crunching it as I go and giving it some texture. So I'll make sure to keep that raw burlap showing through. So I just want to eliminate the straight edges from the tissue paper. I'll be adhering this with the gel medium. Okay, so now I'm going to dry this up with my heat tool. Now I'm going to add gesso all over that. Again, I'm going to stay away from the edges. So this is how it looks like so far. I'm going to dry this again. So the next step is to add some more texturing with the stencil. I have a palette knife right here and my molding paste. You can use, I'm using light molding paste because this just happens to be what I have on hand. You can use any type of molding paste, whether it's light or heavy. Now this time I went on the edges. I forgot about it, but honestly I really don't mind, so I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to go wash up my stencil while my paste is drying, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is all dry, and I want you to see the beautiful texture I get from both the tissue paper and the molding paste. And the good thing about light molding paste is that it doesn't really take long to dry, so that's one benefit. So so far I've kept it pretty clean, but now we're about to get dirty. I'll start with the fresh lime. I might add a bit of Calypso teal, but I'm not sure yet. I'll do fresh lime and a bit of water if I feel that it's too heavy. And I'm just gonna start spraying. And I'll make sure that I'm hitting the burlap. Oh, look at that color. Isn't that yummy? Maybe I'll add some teal. Just, oh yeah. Definitely. All right. And I might zap it a little bit with some water just to get the colors moving a little bit, but not too much. I love how as you can see here, let me do a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. Look at this here. Look at that texture that we're getting from the tissue paper and the spray. It's more concentrated in within the cracks, or not the cracks, but the pleats of the paper, and it's just beautiful. I think I'm going to add a little bit more here, and maybe a little splash of teal right here. Perfect. Okay, so while this is drying, I'm not going to zap it with the heat tool. I don't think I need it for now because we need to spray more things. We're going to work on our watercolor paper. And while I have my green and teal out, I will start with the 5x5 piece. And I will spray kind of like, actually, you know what? I'm going to start with some water. I'm going to wet my paper just a little bit because I don't want the color to be too, I want the colors to really move on this. Maybe a little bit more teal. Yeah, that's good. It's good. Maybe I can play with that. Oh, look at this. See, when I get these, I love it. I have my big watercolor paper, This is a full sheet. And for this one I'm going to be using the melted chocolate and what's it called? Pure Sunshine. And I believe I will wet this just a little bit with the water. Oh yeah. And again, adding more water. And this paper will get saturated with some colors. Okay, so this, I kind of want to let it dry on its own. So I'm going to do that fully and then I'll be right back. While my other watercolor paper is drying, this green and blue one is ready. And I'm going to grab the dragonfly from our stamp set. I have it mounted on a block here. I'm going to be stamping this with jet black archival ink. And I'm just going to choose a spot that I like, and the colors will be peeking through the design on the dragonfly. So I'm probably going to aim for a good variety of color, and I think I will be doing it right here. The cool thing about this stamp set is that all of these images, except for this one and the words, have matching dies. So I have the small oak leaf, which matches this stamp. I have the large one and the dragonfly. I'm going to die cut this with the dragonfly die. And you've seen me do that before. Where I create a mask in another paper and then I layer the paper over top and then the die over it. So I'm going to do the same. I have a blank sheet of watercolor paper here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my die down and I'll just put a bit of washi tape just to keep it in place. And I'll pass this through my die cutting machine. And now I'm going to put my piece of that I stamped and putting the mask over it. So now I'm just going to secure the die onto my piece. I'm going to put another piece of washi tape on my paper like so, and then I'm going to cut this. And there's the dragonfly. Fun. Alright, so this is what my paper looks like when it's all dry. And as you can see the shimmer from the color shine, which is absolutely gorgeous, and the tones of brown and the yellow. So now I'm going to stamp the small oak leaf and the large oak leaf repeatedly on this paper, but I'll make sure that I leave enough space to accommodate the die because we're going to die cut each of those. So what I would suggest is that you stamp and die cut as many of both leaves as possible. Then you can just pick whichever you'd like the best, and because we're going to put several on the burlap frame. So there's my sheet fully stamped. Now I'm going to die cut all these, but before I do that, obviously I need to make a mask for these two dies. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Before I start gluing the pieces onto my canvas, I just want to do one last little bit of stamping. And I took a cork tag and I'm going to just add bit of gesso, kind of like very sketchily, if I can say it that way. And the white space will be where I'm going to add the sentiment. So I'm just going to draw it really quickly. And I have the word imagine from the same stamp set. And I'm going to stamp that right on the tag. And I don't want it straight, so I'll make it crooked. There we go. Intentionally. I love how that looks. And now I can start adding my pieces. Now, I played with it a little bit prior to starting filming, just so that I would have an idea of where I want to put the leaves. So I'll end up taking just two leaves, two large leaves, and I sort of want it going up this way. So I'm just going to start adding. And for that, I will take my glue gun because it dries fast. Now, you also might want to decide to curl your leaves, and I should have done that before, so I'm going to do the rest. Okay, now this canvas circle will be added with foam adhesives. The reason is that I want to be able to stick those hat pins in there. Oops. Okay, so this is going to be, I don't want it in the middle. Kind of like off to the side here. So here's the tag with sentiment on it, and I'm going to glue this right over the burlap circle, like so. And the dragonfly will be glued down right over, just close to the word like this. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue here, like on the body here, and then I'm going to add two foam adhesive underneath his wings. Well, I lied. I was going to add the stick pins underneath the canvas circle, but I think I'm going to add them like that, and I have enough hot glue to be able to stick the pins in there. There we go. shine of the leaves. Aren't they gorgeous? Ugh, I love that stamp set. I really, really do. I like the way they did the images. They're not full images, but it's not only an outline art that they put on their stamps. They actually have patterns. Like every single image has a pattern, and it makes it for a very interesting product, especially for mixed media artists or art journalers out there. This is perfect. Of course, card makers can also use that. Love the sentiment. There's two other sentiments in the set. One says create and the other one dream, but I just love how just, you know, those cork tags are so easy to use. I could have stamped directly on this, but I really wanted the sentiment to stand out. So just one little brush of gesso and all of a sudden your sentiment pops. Love the texture I got from the tissue paper and the molding paste, and those sprays. Really fun to put together. This is what I was briefly showing you, that workshop that I subscribed to or enrolled into. And this is just tissue paper. It's patterned tissue paper. We just needed that for just like a funky background. We're going to cover up most of it, but the drawing is not mine, like I said. It's Christy's. And let me zoom in so you can see. Look at that beautiful texture. I use a stencil over here, but it's, you can hardly tell. And I also used it on the texture paste, but that didn't really work well. But anyways, I just needed to have some type of texture, because that's the object of the class. So I'm going to be working on that. But no, this is not the prize for my giveaway. This is for me. It's practice. All right, so here's the little book of quotes I was talking to you about in the intro. So basically all of these pages, the backgrounds were done with Inktense pencils. And they're just, you know, doodles and stuff like that. This is a canvas shape that I've actually colored with Inktense. Look how cool that is. The colors are so rich with these pencils. I love them. And the happy was part of this canvas piece. I just wrote thoughts with a gel pen. And these were also, these were a funny story. These were also canvas shapes, just plain white canvas. I started coloring them, didn't like them, covered up with gesso, colored them again, didn't like them either, covered up. So there's like 2 coats of gesso and probably like a bazillion coats of Inktense, but I like how they finally turned out in the end. This is a black pearl pen by Viva Decor. Some stamping with a Diane Reevely stamp set. And what I did after I finished the background, I went over with a very thin Faber-Castell pen marker, and I just went around the edges to add some black. So I'm just going to flip really quickly. I don't know if you want me to read the quotes. You can just read them if you want to. And I also had bits and pieces of little watercolor paper left over, so I decided to include them in the booklet as well, and it's just bound with some twine. And all the stamps that you're going to see are also from the Diane Reevely stamp set. I think it's called Doodle Parts. Yeah, Doodle Parts. And I just had fun. I was just like coloring, and whatever came up is what I actually put down. Again, this is a canvas butterfly. I added some pearls with the liquid pearls. Maybe I should zoom in. Yeah, here. They're kind of raised. Again, just some doodling. I went in with a white gel pen and added some accents. Again, these mushrooms were colored with the Inktense. Just some doodling. This stamp set was really fun. So I created the background first, then I stamped, and then I went in and added some more colors inside the stamp shapes. Really, really fun. Another one of the canvas accents or embellishments. And this one though I colored with the big brush pens, and you're gonna see some of that color bled into the orange, but I kind of like that look. I didn't let it dry completely before I went in and added the inside. So anyways, it just bled, but that's fine. I like it still. And so yeah, it's just, you know, as a reference tool to keep, you know, it's just a good reference tool to see how the Inktense pencils are reacting. And you can color, you can get like a very intense color, or you can have a washed out look if you want to. I added some speckles with my brush. Really fun. I love this bird. I don't know where that's from. I just grabbed it. It was by the cache. But it's a wood piece, but I don't know. We just got a whole bunch of packages and broke them down and put them in a bin so that people can actually, you know, grab one instead of like a whole pack and buy just one. So that's it. This, the back, the butterfly is down below here to hide something that I wrote that I didn't like. So it's kind of funky, but look how that coloring turned out. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you color directly onto canvas. Look how beautiful the gradient is and how rich the color is. I just love it. Love it, love it. Oh, and I distressed the edges of each of the pages just to give it more of a grunge look, or more of the watercolory look, I would say. A lot of those, the big sheets that you buy of watercolor paper, they usually have frayed edges like that, so I thought that was interesting. And that's it. Finally, well, hopefully I will have time this weekend to put together the canvas for my giveaway. So I will do like a proper announcement next week. Again, you guys are amazing. You make me feel good, so I don't feel so bad about offering something that I made. Anyways, so that's it. I don't have anything else to tell you except babbling, so I'm just gonna cut it right here. As usual, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I will see you later.